So I came to Bath to support the people of Palestine and also to support the people of Bath in stepping out and exercising their democratic rights to come and protest the horror that is happening in Palestine, the genocide that is happening in Palestine. It feels very different to the marches that I've been to in Cardiff and London. More sombre, more silent, more but real reverence. Just really interesting to just come and be in solidarity with the people of Bath, who are really feeling very emotional about what's happening in Palestine. So I think this idea that silence is violence, which was the theme of the march, is really powerful. There's a lot of amazing quotes and speeches made by activists from all sorts of movements, the civil rights movement, the feminist movement, about the idea that bad things happen when good men stay silent or good people stay silent. You know, one of the things that we chant on the marches is that the people united will never be defeated. But that requires for the people to be united. The more people that are out on the streets, the more people are actually sort of getting up out of their homes and actually dedicating a portion of their time. I mean, right now we're at some sort of hinge point, and I really feel like there are much bigger everything is interconnected, you know, and I don't at all want to take any of the attention or any of the immediacy that's necessary away from Palestine. We need an immediate ceasefire. We need for there to be an end to the occupation, and we need all of those things months ago, basically, but we really need them as soon as possible. So whatever you can do to put pressure on your elected officials to come and show your support, to use your skills, but most importantly to use your imagination. Use your imagination for how can you protest? How can you make it so innovative, so creative that, you know, because that's what we're trying to do here. Like we're trying to change the world. For me, like what the way in which I think that's going to happen is through Palestine, through what is happening in Palestine. It's waking people up in a way like nothing else that I've ever seen in my lifetime. And I've been involved in a lot of different causes for climate action and for anti-austerity and for all sorts of different causes which I felt and feel still very passionate about. But there's something about what's happening in Palestine which is it's so terrible, it's so hellish, that I feel like it's making people feel. And it's making people feel in a way like they've never felt before. It's breaking people's hearts in a way that they've never had their hearts broken before. And then therefore it's motivating them to want something different. With what is happening in Israel and Palestine, it is for some reason even deemed extreme. Like that's what the UK government are classifying lots of these protests as, and different organisations that organise these protests as extremist or Islamist. You know, there's all of this really fear-mongering language being used around what people are trying to do here, and it's very simple. What people are trying to do here is stop Israel bombing civilians, stop Israel bombing children, stop Israel starving children, starving civilians. Like, I urge everybody who's watching this not to look away. We cannot look away. It's terrible to look at, it's really hard to look at, but it's much worse to look away. If you haven't spoken up yet, then I'd urge you just to start looking at the footage that's coming out of Gaza, because I defy anybody to have a heart, have a shred of empathy within their body, have a shred of soul, and not be so deeply moved by what they're seeing as to be compelled to use their voice, to raise their voice in solidarity with the Palestinian people. My utopia is a place where life is centred, where children are centred, and where mothers are centred, but that children are at the centre of every community, I think so many of all of the other problems, all of the complex problems and differences and the nuance, all of that stuff falls away actually when we centre the children. If we are all able as adults to do that, then everything else becomes easeful, becomes clear, becomes simple. So that's a world that I'm dreaming in, is a world where we're centering the children thriving.
Thank you so much.